Namaste, everyone, and welcome to today's explainer. We're jumping right into something absolutely beautiful today, a Hindi poem called Meri Mohabbat Ka Nugina, which translates to the jewel of my love. Mapping out exactly how love completely takes over your life, it's tough. But this poem, it's literally a masterclass in doing just that. We're going to unpack the whole chronological journey of romance here, from that crazy, dizzying first spark all the way to, well, a vow of absolute eternity. So let's decode how this poet captures that totally indescribable feeling of absolute devotion. Let's actually start right at the beginning. Listen to these opening lines. Teri baaton mein kho jaun main, teri yaadon mein so jaun main. Meaning, I get lost in your words, I fall asleep in your memories. Wow, right? I mean, what an opening. Just imagine that mesmerizing, kind of dreamlike state of deep infatuation. You're not just casually thinking about this person, you are quite literally losing yourself in what they say. Their memories are basically the blanket you sleep under. It's this immediate, incredible hook into the speaker's mind, which is just completely saturated by the thought of their beloved.
All right, moving into section 1, colors of new love.
So before love becomes this deeply rooted partnership, it starts as this intoxicating, overwhelming spark. And that exact feeling is brilliantly captured when the poet says, Jab tu hase to lage, ye jahan, meri dunya mein rang bhar gaya. My world is filled with color. Now, the really fascinating part about this is the context. This explosion of color, it doesn't happen because of some massive, grand, romantic gesture. It literally just happens when the beloved smiles. That's it. A single smile has the sheer power to instantly transform a dull, grayscale existence into a vibrant, brilliant world. It's kind of like Dorothy stepping out of the sepia-toned house and into Oz, just entirely triggered by a simple smile. And what else brings this feeling to life? Well, the poet lists these incredibly everyday triggers. We've got a simple smile, the intoxication of their eyes, teri aankhon ka wo nasha, the feeling of falling raindrops, and the physical touch of holding hands. The absolute crucial takeaway here is that these are ordinary things. The poet isn't, climbing Everest to find love. They're finding this overwhelming, magical devotion in the everyday. It's just how a look can effortlessly captivate the heart for absolutely no logical reason at all.
Which brings us to section 2, the jewel of romance.
Because eventually a spark has to become a steady flame, right? Look at how this love takes over in this elegant, step-by-step progression. First up, step 1, the mind. The beloved occupies the speaker's thoughts. They're totally lost in their words. Then, step 2, the breath. Sanson mein tu hi samaye. The love moves from the mind directly into the physical body. You literally need them to live, basically like oxygen. And finally, step 3, the soul. Har dua mein tera naam hai. The connection transcends the physical completely and becomes spiritual. They are literally named in every prayer. It's really a perfect architectural map of falling deeply, irreversibly in love. And this beautiful 3-step progression culminates right here in this massive realization. Tu hi meri mohabbat ka nagina. You are the jewel of my love. I mean, the realization has officially hit. The speaker recognizes there is absolutely no way they can live without this person. This bond isn't just a part of their life anymore. It is the absolute most precious thing they possess in the world. Let's actually break that metaphor down for a second, because it's the core of our explainer today. The word used for jewel here is nagina. Now, a nagina is a precious jewel or gem, but in poetry, it specifically symbolizes something incredibly rare, beautifully crafted, centrally placed, and illuminating. Think about a ring, right? The band is just metal until the nagina, the centerpiece stone, is placed into it. That's what gives it ultimate value and catches all the light. So by calling their partner their nagina, the poet is assigning them this immense, truly irreplaceable value right at the very center of their universe. All right, on to section 3 of Fearless Bond. So once you possess something that valuable, how does it change you? Well, the love matures into a fearless partnership. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer confidence of this love. The poet looks at the pale moon, which, let's be honest, for centuries across all cultures has been the ultimate standard of glowing beauty, and does something wonderfully audacious. They write, Chand bi phika lage. They are literally elevating human love above the beauty of nature itself, proudly claiming that even the majestic moon looks dim, pale, and faded compared to the radiant light coming from their beloved's face. Now that is a statement. And that radiant light, it completely chases away all the shadows. The poet writes, Har dar se rishta tod diya, meaning broke ties with every fear.
Let's analyze this psychological shift for a sec. The poem ties this massive release of fear to the incredibly simple act of holding hands, basically saying, the second I held your hand, I broke ties with every single fear I had. It beautifully shows us that true connection is the ultimate safety net. All those worldly anxieties, doubts, fears, they just completely dissolve when you know you aren't facing them alone anymore. So the crucial takeaway of this whole phase is captured right here. Ab jo mile hain is mode par, chalengi saath har dagar. Now that we've met at this turn, we will walk every path together. That solitary longing we saw in the early verses, totally gone. It's replaced by this highly committed, fearless journey. They're at a crossroad in life, and the decision is definitively made. They're walking together, side by side, absolutely no matter where the path leads. And that leads us into our final section, a prayer for eternity. We've seen love conquer the mind, the body, the soul, and worldly fears. Now it ascends to something totally timeless. The beloved's presence has grown so vast, so all-encompassing, that the speaker actually feels them permeating nature itself. Barish ki bundon mein tera ehsas, your essence in the raindrops. Their name echoes in the rhythm of every single heartbeat. The boundary between the person they love and the universe around them has just completely blurred into one single beautiful experience. And that overwhelming universal feeling leads to the absolute climax of the entire poem, Rab se bas itni si dua janmon tak rahe tera saath. Just this one prayer to God to be with you for lifetimes. I mean, really think about the immense weight of that request. The speaker doesn't just want the rest of this current life. No, they are asking the divine for just one singular thing, to be bound to this person across multiple lifetimes. It is the absolute ultimate expression of devotion. It literally pushes the concept of love completely past the boundaries of mortality itself. So, I want to leave you with a pretty profound question to ponder today. Does true love make us fearless in the present? Or does it simply shift our focus to an eternity together? As we've decoded in this explainer today, perhaps the real magic of the jewel of love is the beautiful realization that it does both. It guards us today, and it promises us tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the stages of romance. Keep exploring, keep reading, and most importantly, keep learning.
आपको हमारे कार्टून वीडियोस, स्टोरीज और सॉन्ग पसंद आ रहे हैं तो वीडियो को लाइक करें, सब्सक्राइब करें और शेयर करें।